big fort in the borders of this country. Even today in the armed forces, you have a great number of people from Rajasthan who defend our country, not so much in the deserts, but also in high altitude mountains, snow-capped peaks, and even in the borders with Myanmar, the tropical jungles. So I pay my respects also to the armed forces, which is represented adequately by people from Rajasthan. Durgashtami has been referred to in the welcome address. It's Vasanta Navaratri period. We worship Shakti all right, but on the Navami day it is going to be all Ayodhya. After several decades, several centuries, Sri Ram has found a Bhavya Mandir where he should have been. Where he should have resided, and as you say in Rajasthan, Virajman in that holy, beautiful Bhavya Mandir forever, for always. But unfortunately, he hadn't had a place to be except for a tent. And that literally tugged at the heart of every Indian. And today, when he's got his due place, we all will celebrate this first Ram Navami with our Lord being miraculous. And with the Pran Pratishtha of Sri Ram, all of us can hope, and I'm sure we'll realize our dreams. The golden era of India will start. It starts with an Amrit Kal. The Viksit Bharat of 2047 hopefully will be achieved with Sabka Prayas. And in that, the intellectuals, the knowledge torchbearers of India, who largely reside in Rajasthan, will have a big role to play. And I'm happy to start my campaign in Rajasthan addressing the intellectuals. It is this optimism which Prime Minister Modi has brought into a country which had given up all its hopes. In 2013-14, irrespective of party affiliation, no one could hide the fact that you were not sure where we were going. Fragile fight we were. Capital was getting out of the country. Not just those foreign direct investments which had come, but even our India's own businesses, big businesses, were shifting their balance sheet to outside of India than remain in India. That was 13-14. And your party loyalties couldn't have hidden this fact from you, so you didn't have to be in the opposition, as BJP was at that time, to realize that the country has come to nowhere. And that was 2013-14. But from there, in fact, one of the things which I said in the parliament, when I released the white paper on the Indian economy, 10 long years after, duly when people said you should have released it in 2013-14, why are you releasing it now? I, in all my modesty, appreciate the Honorable Prime Minister for having not released it in 2014. It's such a story that today we look back with a sense of confidence, saying it's all right, we were, fragile fight. These many number of scams had happened. Scams by themselves are wrong, but each one of the scam had created a collateral damage to the economy, and shortage of coal would have resulted in 72 hours of blackout in the western part of India at that time. Or shortage of coal would have left many of the thermal producing companies, thermal producing public sector undertakings also without power and so on. But the fact is, today we are looking back with confidence because in the 10 years, the economy had been restored with tremendous effort, transparent effort, with not a whisper of corruption and a complete dedication shown by the Honorable Prime Minister. So if we are at a stage where even a white paper which would have sounded, how can I put it? A white paper, if released in 2014, would have sounded only a sense of hopelessness in this country. It would have established the fear that something has gone wrong, we don't know how deep the problem is, and can we ever come out of this? That would have been the sum and substance of people reading a white paper in 2014 would have been. So reading it in 14 would have left India even further into a confusion, into hopelessness, and a disbelief that we can ever revive. So the levels of scandal, the extent of scandal, the scope and size of the scandal, all of which gave a message to the Indians that even as you were reading it in the media, it made you think, what has been so badly handled? Can it ever be restored? So releasing it 10 years afterwards, it actually tells you what it was then and what kind of effort it took for us to come back to being the 5th largest economy. Even as we say 5th largest economy, we are sure that within a few years, maybe just 1.5 to 2 years, we will reach the 3rd largest economy in history. So I would think it was totally responsible of Prime Minister Modi, a very responsible, caring decision of Prime Minister Modi that he didn't release that white paper then, but released it now to say why today India is where it is, despite that negativity. Today there is no negativity, there is hope, there is positivity, there is this almost certainty in everybody's mind. ठीक है, अभी हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. That is a responsible leader's decision-making power, that he did not want to expose his opponent for short-term gains, but he took a call that he will restore the economy and then yet put the facts on the table of the House. That is why the white paper came much later than when it was expected by a large number of people. Now today, the 3rd quarter of 23-24 saw an unprecedented growth of 8.4%. Unprecedented in the world history. And why am I saying world history? I'm not comparing years, decades before, centuries before, but I'm still using the word history because in today's volatility, not one war, 2 wars, and yesterday probably a 3rd war, if I may call it that. I don't wish the war, I want peace to prevail, but I'm saying a 3rd incident of something going wrong. Disruption in high seas. Pirates in the Red Sea. Disruption in global high seas means your trade and traffic of goods, movement of goods are all unpredictably affected. West Asia is the source of maximum crude coming to India. Of course, we have strategically, during the COVID times and immediately after that, also started buying from Russia because it was coming at a discount. It was in our national interest to do that. We started obtaining it. So if 8.4 growth in a quarter in the year 23-24 can happen, it just shows how much Indians are waiting to grow and move faster to achieve greater goals. And if the 4th quarter is lucky and we get a good number, I'm sure we'll average out at 8 for the overall 23-24 growth. And I would think, if not at 8, it is possible to sustain a good high growth in India because the entire ground has been created for every entrepreneur to feel that this is the best time for him or her to come out and undertake responsibilities. So I do not want to